Sean, thank you so much for taking some time to share some information about electronic merchant services with me today. Can you tell me a little bit about what makes electronic merchant services different from some of your competitors out there?
Oh, thank you, Francie. Electronic merchant services, we provide fully managed merchant accounts. We look at the business as a whole. We provide customized solutions. We work with merchants on the back end, managing chargebacks, evaluating back end rates, and also evaluate the business risk when it comes to compliance and making sure that they follow all the rules and regulations that are set up by the card brands.
Okay. So, can you tell me a little bit about your credentials and how long you've been in the credit card merchant industry?
Yes, I've been in the credit card merchant industry 19 years now, and I hold the highest credential available in the bank card industry. That's a certified payments professional. I've written over a dozen bank card articles, I've published in newspapers. Frequently, I'm a guest speaker for Cal CPA, Rotary Clubs, and Chamber of Commerce.
Wow, that's some pretty impressive credentials that you bring to the table.
Thank you.
The first question I have for you is who can you offer credit card payment processing services to?
We offer credit card payment processing services to US-based businesses. Our innovative solutions are for all business types, including retail, restaurant, hotel, wireless service, mail order, telephone order, internet. We even integrate directly into QuickBooks, and we have many more solutions.
Wow, so pretty much almost any business in the US, you can help them out when it comes to their credit card processing systems.
Yes, we have a very high approval rate, and there are very few business types that we can't accept.
That's excellent. The second question I have for you is how long does it typically take to set up a merchant account?
Well, the first step is to customize a solution. We realize that every business is unique. It takes a complete understanding of the business and how they plan on completing their transactions before setting up a merchant account. For example, I had a business that asked for a full wireless terminal setup the other day. They do high-ticket transactions, they sell spas, and after listening to what the merchant had to say and what they thought they wanted, it wasn't the best solution for them. What I recommended was an iPhone solution, where they didn't have to buy a new wireless terminal that runs $500 or more. They could just download the app and put it right onto their iPhone and run transactions. So to get a new account set up, after we customize solution, it's really quick. Merchants are processing typically the next day.
Wow, that sounds like it can be a really quick turnaround, which I'm sure is definitely a positive for many business owners out there to be able to turn something around that quickly, especially when it comes to how they're going to accept money from their customers.
Yes.
The third question I have for you is what is the application process to apply for a merchant account, and how quickly can someone actually be approved?
Yes, we're known for our fast approval. Over 90% of merchant applications are approved within 24 hours, and in fact, most of those the same day. If we have a complete application in before noon, there's a good chance that they can process credit cards before the end of the day. We have an overall 97% approval rate.
Wow, that's a really high approval rate for something like that. And I can't believe that you're actually able, in some cases, to get someone approved by the end of the same day even. That's quite the process that you have.
Yes, thank you.
The fourth question I have for you is, can someone still apply if they have bad credit?
Yeah, absolutely. Just because they have bad credit doesn't mean that they're a bad person or they have a bad business. With a 97% overall approval rate, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to get approved.
Now, what are some of the things, I guess, that help out or in the application process, those people that may have bad credit? Like you said, you have a 97% approval rate. So obviously there's some ways you're able to help people that may have slightly less than perfect credit in the process.
Right. We have different ways that we can get an application approved through underwriting. Of course, most applications do use the individual credit of the business owner, but we'll also take a look at business financials, previous year's tax returns, profit and loss statements, and if that doesn't work, we can also get a cosigner on the account.
Okay, so there's definitely some options for people that may have bad credit or, nowadays just less than perfect credit.
That's right.
Excellent. The fifth question I have for you is, what are your processing, or are your processing services limited to any business types? I know that you said pretty much any business inside of the United States, but is there any certain types of businesses that you don't work with?
There is. Now, we accept pretty much every business, even businesses that have a high average ticket, high volume, which is an issue for some companies because it's higher risk. But what we're not set up to accept is adult sites, dating, and gambling type of businesses.
Okay, so pretty much none of the more questionable type businesses out there.
That's right.
Okay, so if you're a business you may not want to tell your mother about, that may be a business that you wouldn't be able to help out. But pretty much anyone else out there in the U.S., you would be able to help out.
That's right. I like that analogy.
The sixth question I have for you is, once someone has a merchant account set up, how long does it actually take to get their money?
We have the fastest funding in the industry. Most merchant accounts out there, they get funded second day. We can get money in the merchant's bank account next business day.
Wow, that is a very quick turnaround, and I'm sure that's something that would be very important to a lot of business owners out there, because obviously when a customer comes in and makes a payment on a product or a service, any business owner out there is going to want access to those funds as quickly as possible. So I'm sure that's very important for a lot of business owners. Is that something that's standard in the industry, or something that you guys are kind of an industry leader on?
There's some companies out there that offer next day funding. We're a little bit unique in that not many people can do that with American Express. American Express is really a separate card brand, but we actually process American Express in-house through a program called OnePoint. It appears on the monthly merchant statement, and it gets funded with your Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and debit card transactions. So it's all on one account, and it gets funded next day with that program.
That's excellent. And I'm great to hear that you have found some ways to work very efficiently with American Express. The seventh question I have for you is, what is your rate, and how does that differ from other companies out there?
That's a really good question. And there are really two different types of rates. And in fact, just a couple days ago, I was teaching CPAs at Cal CPA discussion group, and they get continuing education credit. I'm the only bank card individual in California that's doing this right now. But I was discussing rates, and there are really two different types of rates. And without getting into a 2-hour-long discussion like I did with them, you have a front-end processor rate, which the industry average is about 0.5%. And then there is the back-end rate is called interchange that gets paid to the customer's bank. And it's interesting that when people say, what's your rate? They're normally comparing the front end processor rate, which is less than 25% of the overall cost, completely ignoring the back end rate that gets paid to the card issuing banks. And what I specialize in is evaluating that interchange rate and getting the lowest possible categories. I gave an example with the CPAs where there was one transaction for $150 on a debit card, and how it could come in with 6 different rates, back-end interchange rates, depending on how that transaction was processed. And what I specialize in is evaluating that and coaching merchants and monitoring accounts so that the merchants get the lowest possible back-end rate, which is most of what they pay.
Now, does that come into play when I'm making a purchase with something with my debit card and they'll ask me if I want to use debit or credit? And usually my standard response to them is whatever works out better for you, because I know there are so many different rates on the back end. But does that where that comes into play a little bit, whether somebody processes that card as a debit card or a credit card?
That was really relevant more than 2 years ago. Today, you have legislation, the Frank Dodd amendment that was passed, and they actually regulate debit interchange. So it's a lot more complex today. The landscape of the bank card industry is constantly changing, from the card brands updating their rates twice a year. And by the way, there are over 1,000 different back-end rates today when you look at domestic and international interchange. Plus, Congress changing and regulating different the rates as well has an impact on what the banks can charge and really what the customers end up paying eventually.
Wow. It's definitely complex. So it sounds like it would definitely be beneficial for a business owner to have you in their corner when it comes to all of the different rates and the merchant services that are out there.
Oh, absolutely. The bank card industry has grown so complex that it's unrealistic for a business owner today to manage their own merchant account, to understand the rules, the regulation, compliance issues, and understand how to get the best back-end rate. And frankly, probably 95 or 98% of all merchant accounts out there today are managed by the individual merchant, and they're losing anywhere up to 30% interchange costs because it's not being managed properly.
Wow. Well, there's definitely a lot of people out there then that need your help.
Yes.
The eighth question I have for you is, what credit cards are you able to accept? Or I guess, are your merchant services able to accept?
We set up all card types. The only thing that we don't set up is cash. If it's electronic, we can do it. Everything from Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, debit cards, JCB, fuel cards, GSA government cards, gift cards, electronic check conversion, anything, any form of electronic payment, we can set up.
Excellent. Now, the ninth question I have is, once someone is actually set up with an account and they need some help with it, how can you offer them some assistance?
We can offer assistance to both accounts that are set up with us and if they don't have our services currently. If a merchant has an account with us already, we have staff in our office that answer calls during regular business hours. And you don't get a menu tree, press 1 for this or 2 for that. You get a live person that understands your business, and we can help you immediately. Of course, we have 24-hour customer service. I mean, after hours, customer service will be able to help you. So if you're trying to do that transaction at 3 o'clock in the morning and you have a question on it, you have someone to talk to. But also, if a merchant needs help or a business owner needs help and they're really not sure who to turn to, if you go to my personal website, which is SeanRFrankie.com, I offer a free 15-minute review, and that's with a certified payments professional.
Wow, so that would definitely be beneficial. What was that website again? And can you go ahead and spell that for me?
Yes, the website is seanrfranke.com. That's www.seanrfranke.com.
Excellent. Now, the 10th question I have is how many ways can someone actually process a transaction? I know you offer a lot of different solutions, but what are some of those solutions?
You know that this is constantly changing, especially with technology today. I mean, on the horizon, we're looking at electronic wallets. You know, for instance, Google electronic wallet. We have new mandates from the card associations with the EMV chip cards coming down the line. In 2 years, uh, business owners are going to be required to have a new terminal that can take these chip and PIN cards. The newest ways to process cards that are available right now are on the smartphone solutions. You have the iPhone, Androids, Blackberries. I have an app that can go right on those devices, and the iPads too, that business owners can accept credit cards on the go.
Wow. So it definitely sounds like as technology is changing and there are advancements within the industry, you are definitely staying on top of those. And it sounds like maybe even in some cases ahead of the curve a little bit to be able to offer, the most cutting edge ways to accept payment from customers for your businesses that work with you.
That's right, absolutely.
That's great. Now, my 11th question is, do you offer customized solutions for your customers, or is it more of a here's the package that you need? Here's kind of our cookie cutter package.
Yeah, that's a great question. There are really two different types of merchant accounts in the industry today. If you think about it like you're getting your tax return done, you can go to H&R Block or go to use TurboTax, where they just kind of plug in the numbers and you press go and your tax return is submitted to the IRS. Or you can take your more complicated tax return if you're a business owner and you have a lot of different variables, and you can go to a CPA. And a CPA now it takes a look at the tax return as a whole and helps manage your back-end tax that you have to pay, which is exactly what we do in our company. We take more of a CPA approach with our credential and with our customized merchant accounts, because we realize that most of what you pay for your merchant services is the back-end interchange tax, not the front-end processing rate.
That's great that you really are able to look at every business as an individual business and figure out what's going to make the most sense for them and what their needs are when it comes to their merchant services.
Yes.
Well, Sean, I want to thank you again for sharing some information about electronic merchant services and spending some time with me today. Obviously, talking about your 97% approval rate, the fact that you can actually get people through the approval process and up and running usually within a day, how quickly you can actually get merchants their money back from their accounts, the number of credit cards that your merchant services are able to accept, and all the different ways people can actually process transactions that you're able to offer to your customers. I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are interested in getting set up with an account or might have some questions for you. So what would be the best way to go ahead and get in contact with you to get the process started?
Well, there are really two ways to get in contact with us. One is directly through electronic merchant services, where you can go to our website, which is www.emspayments.com. Phone number 800-515-9583. Anyone in the office can assist and help you set up with your merchant account. If you would like a free 15-minute review, you can go to my website, which again is SEANRFRANKE.com. There's a form there, just fill that out, and we'll be in touch shortly. You can have a free 15-minute review of your merchant services.
Excellent. Well, thank you again, Sean, and definitely some great information for business owners out there.
Thank you, Francie.
Have a great day.